Conference Studio in Bristol, Connecticut. Joe Tessitore alongside Tim Bradley, Andre Ward, Mark Kriegel from their home studios. Bar 2 legend Donnie Nietes. He wants the biggest and best at 115 pounds. He's next.
These are the people who make gentlemen, cultured, refined. Just kidding. They're the same folks who make old set. They simply take the time to do it twice. Gentleman Jack from the Big
Not in my house.
Jimmy, out there, folks, who save hundreds of dollars, Mr. Geico.
Angry that they came in with tempo block and shot. Get happy.
Okay. First fight from the waterfront of Dubai, Caesar's Palace.
Good, Donnie.
The island destination. And
Wala si Ala, si Villamor.
coming from the Middle East.
Wala si Ala Villamor.
Free TV in the UK. And we're glad you're with us on
Wala na.
ESPN Plus.
Wala na may Ala.
Stateside.
Si Villamor
We
ba?
was
Si
leading
Dito.
away at Carl Frampton and Jamel.
Dito wala?
Right now, it's Donnie Nietes and Carillo. As Nietes, the 4-division world champion, he started off his championship run at 105 pounds, won at 108, 112, and most recently won a title in December of 2008 as the WBO junior bantamweight champion, but then vacated the belt when he didn't agree to a mandated fight that was coming up against a fellow Filipino. His desire is to be in against the best of the division. We know who that is. That is Estrada, Chocolatito, and of course, Sorun Savai.
And then Cox.
Nietes is a seasoned veteran. When you look at him, you may not see a lot that jumps off of the screen at you, but he is crafty for a division world champion. And he's very efficient, very economical with his movements, with his punches, and he does just enough to get the job done. But for a fighter like me, I respect and have a lot of just a lot of admiration for a fighter like this and his longevity in the sport.
Dorina. All right.
It's our co-feature, scheduled for 10. Before we get to the world title fight of Herring and Frampton. Fanless atmosphere here at Caesars Palace Blue Waters.
You watching it?
It's a massive entertainment facility. They have built this bubble, it's like an igloo, the rotunda they call it, right on the shore, looking back at the city of Dubai. Carillo is a 10-year pro, a veteran at 115 pounds. He's fought mostly in his native Colombia. 26 times he has fought in Colombia. 25-7-1 mark.
Copyright.
Oh. Facebook. That's Facebook.
Fuck it. Facebook, you
Carillo has,
it.
Nietes has that perfect style, especially if you're a little bit older fighter and you don't have the spring in your legs and the energy that you once had in your 20s and 30s. Just being economical and allowing your brain to get you through even more so than your physical body.
You know, one of the valuable things in boxing is to know where your opponent comes from. And Carillo, he comes from Colombia. And the thing that comes to my mind, you know, and knowing different countries and styles is his punching power. You know, you can see how big his legs are. You can see him trying to sit down on that right hand. You know, he has knockout punching power.
42 wins over his career, 38 years old, 23 knockouts for Nietes. Of course, when you think about the most accomplished, Tim Bradley, you yourself, very popular among Filipino fighters with your fights with Pacquiao.
Para ma-support natin yung mga
Yes, sir. Any fighter comes from the Philippines, you know they're gonna bring the storm, man. You know they bring a high intensity work rate, and you know they looking for knockouts. They love the action.
Round 2 scheduled for 10. Julio Paras is our referee in Dubai. Nietes hasn't lost a bout since 2004. coming off a long playoff of 2 years and 3 months, but undefeated in his last 35 fights.
Dok, pwede ko paabot doon
divisions.
yung ano ni Coach Do, yung
Vacated the IBF flyweight title
lalagay
that
niya.
he won in April 2017, and then did the same with the WBO bantamweight title.
Yung pad niya, tripod. Yung tripod niya.
Sometimes for an older fighter, a layoff can be sometimes it's just an opportunity to rest those older bones, those muscles.
Okay lang, Gar.
Especially if that older fighter stays in shape and is constantly working. Sometimes that layoff can be good and it's not always a bad thing.
I'm going to find out that answer here.
One of the things that you don't, that's one of the things that you, as an older fighter, you have a lot of experience. Nietes has a ton of experience, and you can see how savvy he is in that ring, you know, setting up the younger fighter in Carillo.
Di ka tong iyak kay Coach. Makatala sila ng mga ayos. Saglit lang mga idol.
Rio trying to get that 1-2 going, but easily blocked from Nietes.
Nice uppercut right there from Nietes. Carillo, he sits down on that right hand. He's looking for the right hand constantly. That's his power shot. He either throws it straight and sometimes he loops the shot as well.
Rio himself coming off the layoff for 20 months. His last fight was August of 2019.
Kuhan kayo na, veterano na kayo ba?
Coming to the end of round number 2 here.
Abot round
Four division
automatic.
champ Nietes against Carillo, and then we lead to our junior lightweight world championship fight. WBO junior lightweight world championship between the defending titleist Jamel Herring, the 35-year-old American, and Carl Frampton, the Jackal, who has said, "I will retire if I lose this fight." He's trying to become the first Irishman to be a 3-division world champion. And, you know, we've already talked about it earlier, and we're going to get into this more in our lead up to the main event. But there is so much to unwrap when it comes to how you view that fight, whether it's the strategy, whether it's the size, or Timmy even getting into the time zone change of this fight or adapting to the heat. This fight taking place in Dubai. That's 10 time zone difference from where Herring trained in Colorado. And Frampton got to Dubai on March 16th, so he had over 2.5 weeks to acclimate. And Herring got there last weekend.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about the whole acclimation point. A week, I think, is long enough. I understand that Frampton got there a little bit sooner, and he could feel a little bit more comfortable with the time change or the time zone. But a fight is a fight. It doesn't matter. It's going to go on in the ring, and both guys need to go out there and put it out on the line.
Round 3 here between Nietes and Carillo. In that last round, both men threw 34 punches. Carillo landing 9, Nietes landing 8.
Okay, go.
Complete blow.
That's what you want to do if you're a veteran like Nietes. You want to have the younger, eager fighter just guessing, and Nietes doing just enough
That's like me
to
going
feint,
Where is
keep the younger fighter off balance. Not as much as confident to throw that big right hand. He throws it, Nietes counters and disciplines him. This is the ideal first 2.5 rounds for Nietes.
Kuhan sila kay kasapatos kung siya ato. Kasapatos siya ato nito pa.
And if you're Carillo, you can't play that game. You have to press the envelope when you want to press the envelope and rest when you want to rest. You can't play the old mind versus game because he'll lose that.
Well, it's very interesting. Nietes is having his way early, I would think that Carrillo would have his way early and Nietes would have
Mayong little.
more of his opportunity
May
later in
kaya
this
hindi siya
fight.
makalive. May kaya nietes.
But that's not the case right now, so things are
Ang yang
looking
kapo
pretty
yan, ang
bad
mulingkod siya ba? Ang mulingkod siya.
Carrillo right
Maxo
now.
kay kas mag-anaon ka na kay ini.
After ka
Nao
dito.
ka apikaton ka niya.
Marv.
No.
Marv.
Yes,
Sige na.
Jerry.
Or streeton ka niya sa
Oh.
diyan.
Those are good shots right there from Carrillo.
Eric Fernando.
Ano siya pagka ng distansya ang
Uy.
guna?
Kaubos.
Japan-Japanin mo ni siya.
See that half step back right there from Nietes? It's hard to catch that if you're at home, but that's a lot. That keeps
Mabante
a
ka,
strong
trasan na kanya.
fighter like Carrillo guessing.
End of 3.
Kung ano nila doon na
And round co-feature before we get to the jack.